warm welcome once again to round 4 of Superleague Formula from Estoril in Portugal. I'm Jonathan Green. You join us here in the sunshine of Portugal at this famous circuit, once a Grand Prix circuit, now part of the new era for motorsport, the fusion of football and motor racing. Alongside me, Bruce Ioane, looking forward to another great race, I'm sure, but if race 1 was anything to go by, we're in for a cracker.
Yep. Hi Jonathan, pleased to be there, having a look at the grid and the blue sky, ready for a good race.
Certainly impressive stuff by Liverpool in the first race. They moved up the board in terms of the league. Coming up though is race 2, and that will be live from 1300 GMT, and 44 minutes, then plus 1 lap of course. No question about it, that Estoril, a very tough track indeed, as we saw in the first race. Not a lot of places to overtake. Lot of interest though for the local team, FC Porto. And yes, a lot of the fans have been literally bussed in from Porto to come and see their car. Tristan Gomendi, the driver, and in fact visited by a good safe pair of hands, a former goalkeeper for FC Porto and of course Portugal national, 80 caps for the national team, Vita Bea, and signing the car for a bit of good luck. But sadly, unfortunately, it hasn't brought too much good luck, because Porto, after going well in race 1, are out by the looks of things. So these fans will be a little bit disappointed, but they are supporting FC Porto. So a water pump is the reason that Porto may not make the grid. And in fact, I can't see their car on the grid. A real shame.
Yeah, I mean, the water pump just broke the engine, so they had to stop in the middle of a good race, actually, because he was running up to 5th or 6th place, and he was heading for the podium, so it's a real shame, really.
And there is Adrian Vallès just taking a little time out. He'll be at the back of the grid, and a lot of work to do for him. Now, what about this Estoril track? Well, it's tight, it's tricky, it's tough. Let's get more from it with Bruce Ioane.
So here we are in Estoril, Portugal. I'm going to take you around the circuit into the real Superleague Formula car.
Again at top speed. At 300k, car bottoming on the floor. Braking a little bit early. Track being free. First corner in 3rd, could be taken in 2nd. Up to 4th for turn 2. Down into 2nd for turn 3. Hard to get back on the power. Nice and easy here, get the correct line and get a good exit. Up the gears, shifting, braking hard, down to 2nd gear, 3rd gear, sorry. Back on the power, 4th, 5th, hard on the brake, down to 3rd, between there, over the curb. Tricky place, down to 2nd gear. Here, very important to go back on the power nice and early. 3rd, into the last corner. 4th, early 4th, steady on the throttle. Up the gears, 5th and 6th.
A lap of Estoril with the most experienced driver we've got in Super League. Now, Olympiacos, they had a little bit of trouble in race 1, and poor old Casper Anderson was definitely getting a workout. But we found out that he's pretty fit when we caught up with him at the beach.
As a driver, it's very important to be fit, and I think especially here in Estoril you can see a big difference between the driver who is fit or not. I'm doing a lot of bicycling, running, training in the gym, but I think it's also important to have as many hours in the car as possible, because it's always different when you go into the car. It's it's different when you are in the gym. So you need also a lot of driving hours to get physical fit. I do a lot of different exercises, especially for the shoulders, shoulder press, chest press, because it's mainly the upper body which has to be very strong. With such a big car as this, you really need a strong neck to hold the head on straight on. I think that the most special thing about this track is the last corner. It's really long and it's like it's never ending, and it's following a very long straight, and I think we reached over 300. So it's for sure it's going to be the top speed record of the Superleague this year. The season so far has not been great. I think we started off very good with the fourth in the qualifying at Donington, but ever since it's been going a little bit downhill because we had quite a few problems with the car, and I think we are ready for Estoril, and the car will be more than quick. It's great to be a part of Superleague. I think it's have a great future, and I'm very happy to be a part of Olympiacos because the fans is very enthusiastic and really great thing to see.
Well, good luck to Casper Anderson and Olympiacos. And another team looking for some good luck, Galatasaray of Turkey. Now, Turkish team, Italian team, and Italian driver. But I can tell you, it's one big happy family. The relationship between a driver and his stable is always an important one. For many young drivers, their teams are surrogate families, and nowhere is this better illustrated than the relationship between Alessandro Perguidi and the team behind his Galatasaray car, Scuderia Clay Team.
Alessandro's been with us for as long as I can remember, actually. Our founder and CEO, Mr. Giannoccaro, was following Alessandro's career since from his beginning in the karts, so he's like a son to him and a brother to all of us. He lost his father, he was very young, so he had the strength to carry on racing and studying at the same time, because this was one of the things that Mr. Giannoccaro insisted upon, to keep on racing. He had to prove his grades were good. So he achieved that. He has a great success both in school and on the racetrack, and we're very proud of him.
Play team for sure is my family, also my teams, but in the first things for sure is my family.
Like most Italians, Perguidi loves his football, and despite being a Milan fan, he's now developing a real affection for his adopted team.
Race for Galatasaray, for me, a nice football teams. I stay in Turkey in Istanbul 6 months ago. I met the football player of Galatasaray and also a lot of fans. It's very nice. And also in Zolder there was a lot of fans of Galatasaray. I need their support to improve each race.
He's probably the surprise of the paddock, because the other names around are very famous. He kind of stayed until now, and now he's proving his strength on the track, and we're very proud of that as well.
Good luck to Alessandro Perguidi in race 2. And of course, reverse grid, so therefore Tottenham Hotspur, who didn't have a great run with their new boy, Dominic Jackson, in his first ever Super League race. It's been tough. He hasn't even got his own seat there, but he starts 4th on the grid. And not starting anywhere near 4th is AC Milan. They're right at the back alongside Liverpool. There is Robert Dornbos. He's got a lot of work to do. Certainly, right at the beginning of race 1, it was an all-Italian front row. But by the end of the race, everyone was seeing red. Here we go, 44 minutes of action. Frank Pereira leads them away, and he's going to try and hold off Dornbos as they head down towards the first corner. Good start from Liverpool. Liverpool on the inside, trying to make a way past ASC Milan. Porto's got a good start as well. Tristan Gomini dives into the corner just behind Liverpool, and everybody amazingly cleanly through. Good start from Tottenham as well. Dominic Jackson's got up there.
Yes, very good start.
Oh, look up! Tocacello and Dortmund go off. Here's another look. Yeah, basically. Oh, that was FC Basel out as well. So Max Wiesel got a real wake-up call here in Estoril, and it was courtesy of that man, Enrico Tocacello, who just literally outbraked himself and had nowhere to go. So AS Roma lead the race with the Frenchman Frank Pereira.
Which is exactly 1 second quicker than AC Milan on the last lap, 1 second quicker than Liverpool, and 1.2 seconds quicker than Beijing.
Now, Bruce, the pit lane is open, and that means they can now come in and do their mandatory pit stop. There is Liverpool. They are in and out. Great pit stop. And Adrian Vaez, out he goes. And look at that also.
Oh no,
AS Roma. They've lost the lead. AS Roma have come in. Now, I wasn't expecting that at all. Guon do their pit change a little bit slow out by David Rigon.
Oh, and
AC Milan just getting ahead of Liverpool there. Interesting, because AC Milan have done their pit stop and are out, and as you can see, Liverpool now chasing them.
Liverpool's going to make a
And
move.
here we go, Liverpool going for it flat out. And Liverpool have got past AC Milan. Excellent stuff. Porto coming down the pit straight. There you see Porto on the right-hand side, Corinthians on the left-hand side, but they've got to get out of the pit lane.
Oh, it's going to be
It's
so
going to be close.
tight.
It's going to be very tight indeed, and somehow Corinthians have held on to get ahead of Porto. Great pit stop. 10 minutes to go, and Liverpool on for a great win here. Adrian Vaez has not put a foot wrong.
They're waiting on each other to make a mistake, but
Yeah,
no one seems to make a mistake. It's a good run from AC Milan as well. Very good job from Robert Dombos, who's kept it together.
Oh, and Porto talking of mistakes. Well, that's an own goal. Porto are out.
And there you go, Corinthians are
And
in
it got
front.
past Beijing. Corinthians have made a place. The Brazilians are dancing.
There you go. Oh, he had a problem. He had an upshift problem.
And Anfield on its feet now, I'm sure. They won yesterday in the Premiership, and they're going to win here in the sunshine of Portugal. On to the last corner comes Adrian Vaez of Spain, but representing Liverpool FC. He's held off AC Milan in style. And it is Liverpool that takes the checkered flag ahead of Milan. Roma takes third place. Corinthians, excellent run by them in fourth. And Beijing still under pressure. Just holding off Atletico Madrid. And that means the grid for race 2 of the Super League Formula from Estoril looks like this. Reverse grid, therefore. Max Wiesel, the youngest driver, starts in pole position. They've had to replace his gearbox, and alongside him, Enrico Toccacello, who in fact took him out. Dortmund. Tottenham Hotspur, Dominic Jackson starts third alongside him. Fellow Brit, so the two Brits alongside each other. Craig Dolby representing Anderlecht. Then it's Rangers, Ryan Dazelle, another Brit, and a Scotsman, alongside him, Alain and Paul Meyer, the Dutchman. Behind them, it's Tuco Roca and Flamenco, Olympiacos, Casper Andersen, the fit man we heard from earlier. PSV Eindhoven, Yalma Berman having a disaster so far this weekend. He needs to turn it around. Borja Garcia from Sevilla is in 10th position. Galatasaray behind. Alongside him, Atletico Madrid. Fastest lap from Andy Soucek last time out. The league leaders, David Rigon and Beijing, are in 13th position. Then it's down to Corinthians. What a run they had in race 1. Pitsonia will want to do the same again. There is Frank Pereira, AS Roma. Then we get into the big boys. AC Milan, Robert Dornbos, and then right at the back, Adrian Vaez of Liverpool. Confident as you like. Liverpool look as though they're on their way. How many points can they pick up from race 2? So, Bruce, as we take a look at this reverse grid, and we're looking at FC Basel, you've been close at hand with all the teams, looking at who's been making changes, gearbox and everything for Basel.
Yes, Basel had a big crash with Dortmund at the first start with this guy, Enrico Toccacello. They went and banged wheels together, and they had to replace gearbox, floor, front wing, rear wing, and lots of stuff.
Toccacello not really taking too much responsibility for the crash, but it was his fault, but he starts, therefore, on the front row. Dominic Jackson, a lot of work for the Tottenham man to do, but he's up for it, and looking forward to this race, especially, I'm sure, starting alongside fellow Brit, the man from Melton Mowbray, there he is, and Anderlecht, Craig Dolby.
Yeah, Craig is going to look for another podium finish. He had 3 podium finishes in a row, 3 second places. He's going to be very strong. The car was fast. He had a few problems. They had to stop. Engine problem, but they are there and fast.
Well, Ryan Dazelle didn't get much out of race 1. He'll need to get more out of this one. He's up for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, he wasn't so confident with the car. They had problems to find a good balance and all that, so I'm not so sure about him. Paul Meyer now. Paul Meyer was so good in Zolder, pole position, really fast, but so far this weekend he hasn't shown neither a great pace, neither consistency.
What about Flamenco? We haven't really seen the best of them yet. A famous team, of course, and Tuca Roca, not a bad peddler. Why haven't we seen more?
Problems in testing. He had probably 10 minutes overall in the car, so he didn't have a chance to set his car up.
Well, I mentioned before that engine problems or engine temperature problems were the problems for Casper Anderson. Have they sorted them?
Apparently, yes. He was fast all along the week. He was fast this morning in the first race, so he should do well this afternoon if the problems are over.
Well, a little further down, and we saw Jelmer Berman, PSV Eindhoven, struggling in qualifying and still struggling in the race.
Q3.
Hopes to turn it all around, and alongside him, Tassaray.
Borja
Sevilla,
with Sevilla, yeah. It's funny because they had kind of the same weekend with Jelmer Berman, both of them having sort of problems and not putting it together. So it's going to be an interesting race for the two of them together.
And there is Galatasaray, Alessandro Perguidi, the family man, as we heard. It's a great story, that. Let's see what they can get out of this one. Thumbs up from him. Atletico Madrid, fastest lap by Andy Soucek. Excellent run by him, chasing Beijing all the way.
Yes, indeed. If he's as competitive as this morning, he will move up the field, and he's in front of the big boys, so he could turn out to be a very good race for him.
Now, interestingly enough, looking for Beijing, no sign of them, and that could be a problem for the league leaders. We've heard about Porto being out. Could Beijing be out?
They have they had a gearbox problem. They didn't have neither first or second gear. They were trying to put it together. Let's hope they can make it to the grid.
Corinthians have no problems, and looking into the sunshine is Antonio Pizzonia, waiting the restart for this. Yeah, keeping an eye out. Beijing, Guan are at the end of the pit lane. I can see them now as we take a look at AS Roma. Frank Pereira, one of his engineers, saying he's got Father Christmas hidden in the car because they keep giving away presents to everybody.
Yeah, they had a problem in the pit stop. They lost one of the rear wheel nuts, and that's why they lost about 15 seconds in the pit stop.
Dornbos will be going for it, and so too will this man from Liverpool. Adrian Valles starts right at the back for Liverpool, but that's the nature of Super League Formula, the reverse grid for race 2, which makes it a little exciting. There is Beijing. Now, you said, is it literally they just didn't get out in time, but they'll start from the pit lane?
Yeah, they have to start from the pit lane. That's the regulations. They couldn't make it to the grid in time, and he will start last.
It's not such a bad thing with a rolling start, is it?
No, it doesn't make too big of a difference. I just remember in Nürburgring, some cars had to start from the pit lane, and they opened up the pit lane a little bit too late, so they lost some time. But still, Davide was very fast this morning. We know how good he is in the races, so he can still make it.
Well, when we get to the end of the season, we may look back at Estoril as a very pivotal moment because Liverpool obviously moving up the league from 3rd, and also Beijing struggling somewhat, and certainly their lead being curtailed somewhat during this weekend.
Yeah, he was fighting against AC Milan in the qualifying, and he's not having such a good weekend performance-wise, not as good as usual actually. And now he's a bit unlucky and has to start from the pit lane. But overall, the performance of the Beijing car at the weekend wasn't as good as what we're used to.
So there is the grid. FC Basel on the front row there. There's Beijing. There is Davide Rigon starting from the pit lane, keeping his tyre warmers on for now anyway. Our temperature's gone up quite a lot. How much difference will that make, do you think, Bruce?
Well, we had a few engine problems this morning. I hope it's not going to make that worse. In terms of pure performance, the track should be a little bit slower, but it shouldn't make any difference for the racing.
On board with AC Milan, Robert Dornbos right at the back. The crowd on their feet. Huge crowd here in Estoril, the town of Estoril, not far away. So. And of course, they're big motor racing and big football fans here in Portugal. So the good combination for them.
And let's hope those two cars in front are not banging wheels again, because we had a clash between FC Basel and Dortmund. I hope they're being calm enough and clever enough to make it through the first corner, because the race is long, actually 44 minutes plus 1 lap.
Well, it's a great opportunity for Wiesel, starting on the front row, just 18 years of age. And really making his way. It's first time in these big cars for him. And he's on the front row and in pole position. They've rechanged the gearbox. Let's hope it all holds up.
Should I say or should there is a car with a problem. Oh no, again Craig Dolby.
It's Craig Dolby of Anderlecht.
So he will have to start from the back of the grid again. he will have to, if he manages, if they can push him back, he will have to go inside of the pit lane and start behind Beijing.
So, trouble for Anderlecht. His mechanics quickly onto the track to try and get him started as the rest of the field go onto their warm-up lap. A rolling start, remember, so they will make sure that the Anderlecht car is out of the way or started, and I think they've got it started. Yes, they have.
Yeah. So he will start from the track, but he will start
at the back.
At the back. From
So
last
Adrian
position.
Vilas has made 1 point, 1 place up already.
Yes. Well, basically, I was going to say, if he hasn't got any problems with his car, we should watch Craig Dolby, because starting from 4th position with the race
I
ability,
think he did it purposely. He said to me, he said, I can do it, you know. I came from the back at Nürburgring. I can do it, you know. I can come all the way up and win the race, you know. I want to try and do that. Bit of smoke coming out of one of the cars there. That doesn't look
That's an
good
engine.
at all. That
That's
is
an
an engine,
engine,
I'm afraid. And it's Robert Dornbos, is it? No,
it's
for a moment,
Atletico
it's
Madrid.
Atletico Madrid, and it's Andy Soucek who was fastest and now slowest.
He has to stop now. He has to park the car on the side of the track, otherwise he's going to pour some oil all around the track, and it's going to be a disaster.
He has got his hand out of the cockpit, and then is waving and letting everybody know that he's in trouble. So, the man from Madrid struggling.
So much oil coming out of the car, I'm afraid, for the first lap, because when a car has a broken engine like this, they pour oil on the track and it's awfully slippery, and people coming back after the first lap are going to drive on that oil, and there is danger for a spin there.
Well, Bruce, we haven't even started the race yet. We've had more drama than most races. Incredible. Beijing, the league leaders in the pit lane. Fastest man last time out, Atletico Madrid, the new team, look as though they are out. Craig Dolby will start at the back.
You might see him flying on the first corner already.
And as you can see, the safety car holding them up.
And it was a surprise to Frank Pereira and for AC Milan, because the safety car just came inside very, very, very late, so they could only apply the throttle very late. They're very slow now.
Yeah, this is not going to help the temperature of the tyres to be this slow, surely.
The brake temperatures, and we can see
Here we go.
Tocacello with experience just behind. He's going to take the throttle earlier than Max Wissel. He's pretty young. Max Wissel, not such a lot of experience.
Here we go. Off goes the safety car. Max Wiesel leads them away for FC Basel. Alongside him, Enrico Tocacello. Looks as though he may have the run on him as they head down. Spurs in 3rd place. Good start from Spurs as they dive into 2nd place, do they?
Yes.
And they do take 2nd place. Great start from Dominic Jackson. 44 minutes to go. FC Basel, 2 of the youngsters out there. A little bit of a lock-up there. Liverpool making places and going off. Liverpool, having won the first race, are in trouble.
Oh.
And Guon at the back. So who would have thought it? 1st and 2nd in the league are 2nd to last and last.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Basel leading in front of the Spurs. Galatasaray made a good move as well. And this is Olympiacos.
He's holding on to it, and Guon's gone past, got a little bit of grass there, but David Rigon holds it all together, makes up 1 place at least. Liverpool have been in the wars already.
Look at this. Craig Dolby already overtook 5 cars. He started last.
How did he get there? I
have
saw
no
it
idea.
was a purple and white car, but I couldn't believe my eyes.
Here
he is, amazingly. FC Basel then leading the way. Dortmund still in 3rd place. Tocacello goes into 13. Basel going slightly wide. Tottenham got the better run on it, got the better drive. And sure enough, Tottenham Hotspur, almost take the lead there.
Oh, and Basel makes another mistake there. Okay, that's it. When you have the drivers starting at the front who finished last in the previous race, then Tocacello should make a move now. He should be already trying to overtake them. He has an opportunity to overtake those young drivers.
Here we go! Spurs looking for a way past. Tocacello likewise. Through they go. Down to the first corner, and sure enough, Tottenham have taken the lead, which I thought might happen into the first corner, because that's the place to overtake.
Yes, he was going to overtake. He was very close. Took the toe, and Tocacello hasn't been able to make a move.
Well,
that's messy.
Wiesel goes to defend the position, and Tottenham just quicker. Oh, and he locked up there going into turn 1. He was lucky not to lose it completely, and Tocacello can't get round. And Tottenham Hotspur lead the race.
Yeah, Enrico Tocacello should have looked at this a little bit closely. And he has to make a move early now, as fast as possible, if he doesn't want Tottenham to run away.
You know, it's interesting. We were talking about Max Wiesel being the least experienced. Dominic Jackson hasn't had a great deal of experience himself, you know. He's done some 3,000, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's true. He hasn't got a lot of running in the car either. And,
Well, almost zero. He was at the
zero.
Barcelona test. I remember him there. But he's at the moment running in Duncan Tappy's seat at the moment. So he said he's been bouncing around. He showed me some of the bruises last night, and he said he's not that comfortable in the car.
And let's have a look at Dortmund. Dortmund should be able to make a move on that lap, going into the long main straight using the gearbox of the Basel car. As behind, you can see Galatasaray making a move as well up the field.
Dortmund surely now will make a move, and they do. Dortmund blink to the inside and go for second place. They've got it. That's the experience of Enrico Toccacello holding off Wiesel now and moves into second. Now he's got to go after Jackson, who is moving away at the front. Hotspur with a 1:31.047 last time out, and now Dortmund chasing them. They did a 1:32.0 last time.
Yeah, that's only because he was behind Max Wiesel of Basel, because now he has a free circuit in front of him, and he's going to lap at least a second and a half quicker on the next lap.
So, well, we've got a little bit of a gap. Tottenham Hotspur lead the race. Dortmund are second. Basel are third. Alain are in fourth place. Rangers are still running. Fastest lap already from Dominic Jackson. Galatasaray, Olympiacos, Flamenco. And when checking out where Liverpool are, they're currently in 14th place. Beijing, league leaders, are right behind them. Then PSV Eindhoven. So for the battle for the league leaders is right at the back.
And AC Milan as well is in 9th position, but I think they made a move on Flamengo, and they're just now behind Olympiacos. So
well, Dornbos is having a stormer, isn't he? He's
yes.
already up to 9th, as you say, and may even be up to 8th by now.
Yes, and he's followed by Anderlecht. So a very good start for Anderlecht indeed, because he was starting last, which was actually 2 places behind.
I'll tell you what, hats off to Dominic. He's doing a good job. Now, though, the pressure is on, and here comes Toccacello. Toccacello, side by side as they pass our commentary position. Over 150 miles an hour down the front straight, and Toccacello of Italy takes the lead for Germany and Dortmund.
Yeah, that's it. Enrico lapped actually 1.2 seconds quicker on that lap, and overtook him even before the end of the straight.
So excellent move. That was textbook Estoril overtaking by Toccacello. His experience showing as they go up the hill. Here's another look at it, Bruce. Can't get much better than this.
No, and you could see Tottenham car running a little bit wide and not taking the throttle early enough, exiting the last corner, and Enrico could take his line back before the end of the straight, basically, and he's now pulling away quite strongly with the fastest lap.
An important race for Toccacello in many ways. He was taken out of the AS Roma team, so to speak. Not quite sure what happened in the team. Either way, even talking to Toccacello, he said, well, I may be from Rome, but I've always been a Dortmund fan. And then he just smiled wryly at me, which basically means I'm not going to tell you the story, but basically we didn't get on, so I'm out of there and I'm back in Dortmund and I'm happy. So I said, okay, I'll leave it at that.
And he's doing well just now, so so that's good for him, and good for the Dortmund team, who was pretty strong from the start of the season with Nelson Philippe, and then with Paul Meyer when they had a victory, but they were a little bit unlucky, so it's good that he's up there.
Adrian Vyas, Liverpool under pressure from Beijing at the moment. You can see the green and white of Beijing's David Rigan right there with Liverpool. And Jelmer Berman struggling again at the back. PSV Eindhoven were hoping to score some points. The gap was 18 points at the start of this race. 8 points between PSV and Liverpool.
And I think AS Roma is making a move on Sevilla, but Borja Garcia, with his experience, is staying in front, as Liverpool is pressuring them actually very much. Those guys, all those guys there are very, very fast, but they can't put in quick laps just now. They're lapping in 31s. And
whoa! Rangers are off! Or is that Atletico? One of the two. I think it's Atletico. He's back on, dust flying up.
I think it's the Rangers, you were right.
My eyes don't deceive me. Oh, and it was Rangers. Well, okay, Denis, poor old Ryan Dazelle.
Who was having a
bit of a Highland fling, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he was 5th in the race, so he wasn't doing a good job. Oh, Liverpool!
Don't be careful! Vyas has got to be careful. He could get in real trouble, and he is in real trouble. And he's put Galatasaray out as well.
Roma.
That's AS Roma. Roma are out. This is a big story, and there is damage surely now to Liverpool.
No more front wing. No more front wing for
Well,
Liverpool.
I'm afraid that is the equivalent of a professional foul.
It's over for the both of them.
And you have to ask, what on earth was Valles doing in the penalty area, scything down another driver and team like that? Sadly for Frank Barrera, his weekend is over, and they're giving more Christmas presents away.
Yes, he was a great pole sitter for his first time ever into the race. As we see,
Oh, nice move!
Basel overtaking the Spurs.
FC Basel going back into second place. Spurs now dropping down to third. Alain still going strong. But now the big story is Liverpool have thrown it all away and they've taken Roma with them. AC Milan are the team to watch now. They are in sixth place, just behind this battle. There they are, just behind. And in fact, the next man is Olympiakos' Kasper Andersen in the sights of Robert Dornbos. Here's Liverpool getting a new nose cone, and they've lost their boots, so to speak. And David Hale won't be best pleased with that.
No.
Because he didn't need to do that, did he?
No, it was a... I mean, this is not the place to overtake. Okay, he managed to overtake on the previous race. He overtook Milan there, but Milan were just coming out of the pits, and they had cold tyres.
Toccacello in clean air and getting the fastest lap. Not a surprise there, a 1:29.8. He is flying. He's almost 2 seconds quicker than anybody else behind him. Meanwhile, here's the overtake of FC Basel on Tottenham into the first corner. Textbook stuff.
Ooh, that was a late braking. Couldn't make the apex.
Doesn't look as smooth as you in your lap.
He was probably a little bit quicker than me on my lap.
You think?
That lap. Yeah, I was taking it easy.
Okay, so he's in second place now. Max Wiesel of Germany representing the Swiss FC Basel team. Tottenham Hotspur still going strong, and this is a good outing for Dominic Jackson so far. Back on board with FC Basel as they head down to the first corner. Hard on the brakes. Is he any smoother this time? Much smoother this time. Alain getting a little bit squirrely, and that allows Tottenham to get right alongside them into turn 4.
Alain made a move on Tottenham, and it worked. So Tottenham now is down to 4th position, and they have Olympiakos right behind them, ready to make a move, as well as AC Milan.
Bruce, how's your dancing? Just heard there's 2 Brazilians in a nice samba. Flamenco and Corinthians are about to go at each other. Love it. We've been looking forward to that little battle.
I think that Corinthians looked a little bit stronger than Flamengo, but it's going to be a good fight. And Jackson.
Well, Jackson's holding up the field.
No, he went off.
Oh, he's gone wide this time.
On the brakes.
Dortmund, and Basel, and Spurs dropping down.
I can't believe the AS Roma car is still there.
They should have got rid of that by
yes,
now.
and there was a yellow flag, so I'm not sure. Well, it was very dangerous what just happened. It was very fast, but Olympiakos overtook under a yellow flag, basically.
Here we go.
See, now, there is a yellow flag there. What's going to happen? AC Milan backed off on purpose. He didn't overtake the car because he knew there was a yellow flag.
So that could be good spotting, Bruce. That's why we've got you up here. Love it. But you're right. I mean, there was no question that there had to be a solid yellow there. Yep. Liverpool now have caught right up with Dortmund.
Yeah, that's a bit confusing, but they stopped. They changed the front wing, and now he just wants to show what kind of pace he's able to put.
Well, it's never over till it's over. The pit stops could cause more problems.
True.
But what a dramatic start to this one. It's Dortmund who leads. Liverpool have been in for a pit stop already.
Yeah, Tottenham are now down into 5th. AC Milan is going to make a move very shortly.
And the pit window is shortly going to be open. Rangers have pitted and Liverpool have pitted already, but that was because of damage, and Rangers also because of problems. Dortmund, though, so far are the fastest team out there. And Toccacello redeeming himself, and that car's still stranded there of AS Roma's, and that is a precarious position with those cars coming by, 750 brake horsepower. You don't really want to be out there too long. No. There's the lap comparison between Dortmund and Basel, and you can see 1.3 seconds in terms of how much quicker Dortmund is, and Liverpool are there with them, but we expected that, I suppose.
Yeah, Liverpool is actually quicker than Dortmund, but he's kind of out of the race because he's 1 lap down.
Well, Liverpool are now singing for their supper, really, because I don't think David Hale's going to be best pleased with his driver after this one, so I think he's going to make sure that he gets the fastest lap, if nothing else.
Yes, but I'm not sure it's a good strategy to be following the leader to make the fastest lap, unless you get a tow and the leader's the quickest driver out there.
8 laps gone. The pit window will open between 8 and 20. Across the line they come. Dortmund, Basel, Alain still in third place, Olympiacos. AC Milan are fifth place. And it's AC Milan who are going to get most out of Estoril if they keep on going.
Yeah, Tottenham Hotspurs lapped into a 1:33 on the last lap, which is pretty out of the pace.
Maybe physically feeling the strains of that opening salvo. Dominic Jackson and Tottenham Hotspur down, as you say, down to sixth place at the moment. And look at them all queuing up behind Max Wiesel.
And Corinthians is in front of Tottenham Hotspurs. Now Tottenham will be down into seventh place.
Well, as I said, Corinthians and Flamenco going at it in seventh and eighth, the two Brazilian teams. The two great and giant Brazilian teams are next to each other. Race control message, pit window is open after 8 laps. Here we go. You thought it was fun already, Bruce? It's about to get even more fun.
Indeed. I think AC Milan could hit in early as well. I was going to say AS Roma and Liverpool, but...
No, Milan might be the first in, mightn't they?
Milan might be the first in, exactly.
Simply because of the traffic.
Yes. I'm not so sure what's happening with Anderlecht, because they were up there and they're back down and they're getting to the field. They have problems with the engine temperature.
Okay, we're about to see the substitutions. Who's going to come in first? Tottenham are readying themselves. I can see out of the corner of my eye from where we are. We're opposite the pit lane. Wiesel comes out of the last corner. He's not coming in, but Alain are. In goes third place, Alain. Dust flying up. All sorts of stuff going on, but Alain come in. Tottenham also comes in. Corinthians stay out.
Flamenco
have followed them, so that battle between Corinthians and Flamenco is over. Quite a smart move then, perhaps, by Corinthians. Spurs are in.
And it's probably the first pit stop as well of his life for Dominic Jackson. Yeah. And everything's going well so far. Quick pit stop.
Action Jackson, away he goes.
That was a good pit stop. Now Flamengo, new tyres.
Nice move. Yep, good pit stop by them. Well, all of these teams have got plenty of experience in motor racing. Even though Super League is a brand new series, the teams involved are not. And they've got real top-notch experience in terms of mechanics and engineers. And that's why I expect these pit stops to be as good as anywhere else in the world. Alain are back on track. And of course, Paul Meyer, who was pole, but had a terrible qualifying, the Dutchman. Although he's pretty handy with the football. He's leading the Keepy Uppy stakes at the moment with 33.
And we have Toccacello being chased by Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool now taking their pit stop, and even though this is their second pit stop, this is their mandatory pit stop. And Adrian Valles allows Dortmund back on their own. Last lap, 1:30.6 by Dortmund. The only faster man out there was Corinthians at 1:29.8. Corinthians are flying at the moment.
Liverpool doing the mandatory pit stop, no new tyres. David Dale making the lollipop.
Yeah, team manager making the lollipop. Good man. It's a family effort there for sure. And out go Liverpool again. And if you just joined us, Liverpool got tied up with AS Roma, taking Roma out and also causing damage to the front of their car as well. Dominic Jackson led early on. He's now dropped through the field. And Tottenham have had their pit stop. Several of the top men still to pit though, including this man Toccacello on track. The all black and yellow car. Toccacello's first race with the team.
And now we have Olympiacos lapping actually very fast, being very competitive. AC Milan is not keeping up with Olympiacos and is now just behind FC Basel in third position, looking for the second spot.
Casper Anderson looking for a way past the Dane, doing a good job for Olympiacos. Up the hill he goes out of 13. And there's the gap between Basel, just half a second between the two of them. Here comes the leader.
And SC Corinthians as well, just very close of AC Milan. Let's have a good look, but something might happen during this lap. I think we might see Olympiacos making a move on Basel.
And here is that battle. Second place coming through, third place coming through. And look at Corinthians, how close are they to AC Milan and Robert Dornbos. Down the front straight, they're coming into turn one. Back on the brakes, hard they go. Olympiacos pushing pressure, putting pressure on Wiesel. Dortmund, Basel, Olympiacos, Milan, Corinthians and Sevilla. FC Sevilla, PSV Eindhoven coming in for their pit stop now, I can see. Tyres flying everywhere. 26 minutes to go, then another lap. Corinthians, Antonio Pizzonia, the Brazilian, really enjoying getting back into some really ferocious single-seater racing.
He's actually 5 tenths quicker than AC Milan on the last lap. And the slowest car in this leader pack is Basel. Dortmund is already 10 seconds ahead of Basel. So really Tocacello has put up a big gap for the lead.
Well, Basel under a lot of pressure here, and I think his team, I'm thinking it's a good time to take a pit stop. Corinthians bouncing across the curbs. Pizzonia, on board with him as he goes through 13. He really is trying.
Yes, he's sliding the car into the corner, which means he's braking really late. Puts the weight on the front of the car, so it's a very good front end, and the car is sliding like a go-kart going into the corner.
Well, Pizzonia knows all about go-karts. Got a pretty good record in them.
Yes, true. But still, no possibility for maneuver.
Milan are in. Now, this could be the tail of the race. AC Milan have got to get this right. And if you watch race 1, AS Roma's whole problem, having led the race in race 1, was a wheel nut problem on the rear.
And both Basel and Milan are together in the pits.
Who's going to be quickest?
It's a real battle in the pit lane
This
as
is
well.
it.
Huh?
It's between the mechanics now. Basel are quick, and are they out? No, they've made a mistake. A little bit of a hole, and AC Milan are away, and Basel
He stole
have
the
scored
engine.
an own goal there.
He stole the engine.
He did. He's got it going again now, but that's a win. And in fact, he stole it again, and PSV Eindhoven have to go past. So Basel now creating a little bit of a wall. But it ain't a free kick.
There he goes. He finally managed. Oh, he lost the race. He lost probably...
Meanwhile, Beijing go past Spurs on the main straight.
And Sevilla is still there, didn't lose any places.
Guan are up to 9th position now, the league leaders, and every time they move up a position, they're scoring points. If they stay where they are, they'll score 20 more points for their league championship hopes.
So let's have a look at the standings. Borussia Dortmund hasn't done the pit stop yet.
Yeah, we've got 3 teams who've yet to pit. They are Dortmund, Olympiacos and Corinthians. The Corinthians have definitely been making the pace of late. Great race, this. Here comes Dortmund, finally. In comes Tocacello.
Ooh, not so good on the front left. New tires for Tocacello, which is good for him.
Former Formula One experts.
No, it's okay, it's okay. It was a very, well, I have to say, it was tidy. They have not to start in front of another car, and the lollipop man just saw the car at the last minute, and he went back with the lollipop, and it's risky because the driver can stall easily in that case, but they all kept it together, so it's really good.
So Tocacello, out he comes. It was a little bit messy, so to speak, but I hear what you're saying. They didn't want to break any rules and didn't want to get any penalties from it, and Dortmund are out and on their way.
So Liverpool is now actually leading, but they're not leading, they're one lap down.
Not lap down. Fastest lap Galatasaray. It's all happening. 1:29.0 from Galatasaray. Excellent lap by Peguidi.
Basically, Liverpool is one lap down. Don't get confused. The leader is the yellow car here, Enrico Tocacello, Dortmund.
Yeah, he's got to put Adrian Valles, who will be quick, out of his mind here because he's not a factor in this race at the moment. And Dortmund are leading.
So basically now we have Olympiacos just now.
Olympiacos cross the line. Casper Anderson really flying at the moment down towards the first turn. You can see how tight and how bumpy it is there going into the first corner. And they have yet to pit. Surely they're going to pit now. They've still got a few laps though. They don't have to. Back on board with him, Bruce.
Yeah, they have another 6 laps if they want to pit. Second gear up the hill, nice and tidy. Not going so deep into the second corner, back on the power, listen to the sound of the engine.
Dortmund get past Liverpool, no such problems there. Dortmund, though, the leaders of the race, and Valles politely getting out the way.
Yes, he probably had a blue flag, he had to respect that.
A critical time for Liverpool this, because they've done so much good work this weekend. They don't want to ruin it with any penalty or breaking any rules. So I think, yeah, just, well, I think he basically said, come on by it, my friend, and did it in the safest place.
Yeah, he still has some, and he can give him a gap and try to go for the fastest lap, which is not going to be easy because some cars are lapping pretty quickly just now, as AC Milan with a 129.5. Let's have a look at it again. Right to the toe. 300 kilometers per hour, and didn't miss the apex. Nice job, back on the power, a little bit of wheel spin.
Well done then to Enrico Toccacello.
We'll have a look with the onboard back camera of the Dortmund car.
And Dortmund doing a superb job in this race, having had no run time at all, really, and there's not a lot of time for qualifying, and of course they did, well, what, 3 corners in race 1. So Toccacello has composed himself well here. Crosses the line. Olympiacos still to pit. And Dortmund, last lap out, a 1:28.4. They're really on it.
And good race from Alain, who's actually now in 3rd position. Very strong, keeping out of trouble. Paul Meyer. And now we've got still the fight between Sevilla and Beijing. Sevilla has been defending his position very, very well indeed.
Yeah, and every point counts for Beijing at this point, because they've been under a lot of pressure from Liverpool and Eindhoven. But I think in the end, David Regan doing a very good job for Beijing, given where he started on the grid. Corinthians right behind them.
Yeah, Borja Garcia is very experienced, and if he doesn't want the guy behind him to overtake him,
he won't let them.
He won't let him.
Well, fair enough. It's all fair in love and war, as they say.
Yep, it's true.
A lot of experience out there. It's a real good mix, is Super League Formula. You've got the guys that have already been up to Formula 1, like Petonia and Dornbos, and then you've got the up-and-coming guys like Frank Pereira and Borja Garcia, all on their way, hopefully, to Formula 1. What about David Regan? Maybe.
Yeah,
certainly making a name for himself that no one, I wouldn't say no one had heard of him before, but certainly it's helped, hasn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, he won the Formula 3000 Italian Championship, which is why his driving style suits this car, because it's very close. But he decided to switch to GTs, and he started to race GTs recently. Last year, actually, very successfully, because he's very talented. But now that he's back into single-seaters, why not?
Absolutely. Well, one thing that Frank Pereira did admit is that having done champ cars, he actually finds this a little even more physically tough and demanding. Cars a little bit heavier, and the power, obviously, very big indeed at 750.
Yes, it is a very, very heavy, not heavy, but very difficult and physical car to drive. And out here in Estoril, it's even harder, because this is the most physical track of the season.
Well, Casper Anderson about to get a break, and he's surely going to come and pit in very soon. Not much of a rest, but he'll get a little bit of breathing space. We'll check out if he comes. This is the last corner, and here he goes. Olympiacos, the only man not to stop yet. Anderson surely now on his way into the pits. Is he? Yes. In he comes.
Let's have a look.
Now the question is, where are Dortmund? Olympiacos, here they come, slowing it down. And the shuffle is almost over. Olympiacos, the last team to come in.
On the speed limiter at 60 Ks. Okay, no problem so far. The rear wheels are heavier than the front wheels.
Dortmund cross the line now. And away goes Olympiacos. So Dortmund lead. Alain moving up to 2nd place. They cross the line now. AC Milan chase them. And the question is, who else will go past before Olympiacos get out?
Galatasaray as well. Ooh.
So interesting stuff. And there's more overtaking as Beijing make a move on Sevilla and make it stick this time.
Beautiful maneuver from Beijing.
It's not over yet.
No.
And Corinthians have caught up as well. That's allowed Pitonia to get right up the back end now, and he surely is going to make a move on Sevilla as well. No, good defensive driving from Garcia.
Yes.
Pitsonia comes alongside him. You can't overtake there, can you, Bruce?
No, you can't, especially not on the outside.
Okay.
You know, but and that's why Borja knows that, and that's why he keeps the inside spot.
We saw Adrian Vaez make a move here down this back straight. Could Pitsonia have a go himself? He's going for it. He is going for it. Pitsonia tries around the outside, can't do.
He didn't have such a good run out of the previous corner, that's why he couldn't try. But very well done to Beijing to make the move, and we have a look at it from the outside.
Nice move, very good indeed.
Yeah.
And Beijing already pulling away from both Sevilla and Corinthians. So Davide Rigon doing an excellent job getting past there. Nice brave move.
Yeah, very late braking.
Look at the gap he's pulled away already.
Yeah, amazing. So just now he should be in 6th position after the stops.
That's good enough for 29 points.
Well, actually, no, he's not. He's in 6th position, but look at who's third. Milan is third, and very good race from Galatasaray, who's actually in 4th position in front of Olympiacos.
Yeah, that's been a good run by them. And there you see confirmation with 15 minutes to go. Dortmund, LAN, AC Milan, Galatasaray, Olympiacos, Beijing in 6th place, Corinthians following in 7th, having got past Sevilla, PSV Eindhoven in 9th place. And at the moment, rounding out the top 10, Anderlecht.
Good job from Alain, who kept out of trouble, did the pit stop at the right moment. And even though he's not lapping as fast as the leader or as Milan or Galatasaray behind him, he did the pit stop at the right moment, was quick in the pit stop, didn't get it into any traffic, good strategy, and now he's actually in 2nd place.
Galatasaray getting past Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool is giving him room.
Well, unfortunately, poor old Adrian Vaez is having to do this almost every lap because he's really not in this race.
No, and his best lap is a 1:31.5 or 1:29.9, which is nowhere as good as Dortmund, which lapped in the 28.4, which is the fastest lap of the race.
Well, it's an Italian with an Italian team. Galatasaray, the Turkish football team, in 4th place at the moment.
And Olympiacos is overtaking Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
Liverpool letting them all pass.
Unfortunately, he has to. 19 laps gone, and Dortmund continue. LAN in 2nd place, and AC Milan looking to score big points.
And on board with Olympiacos, overtaking Liverpool. He's virtually letting him pass.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of overtaking on Liverpool, but of course, it's not really for position, so 13 minutes to go. Olympiacos continuing 5th place. Beijing, there they are, in 6th. They're not far away, are they? Liverpool becoming a little bit of a wall at the moment. And it's a double-edged sword for Adrian Vaez. He really should get out of the way because the race is on. Liverpool really in 14th position overall, and really Beijing need to get past. But of course, Adrian Vaez is not surprised that Beijing is behind them, and he knows exactly what's going on when it comes to the actual league positions.
There you go, Corinthians are right.
Well, that's it. I mean, Beijing are being held up by Liverpool,
yes,
and now Corinthians. So, to be honest, Adrian Vaez is being a bit naughty here. He needs to get out of the way. He'll do it fairly here on the main straight. Beijing surely will go past now, or will they? Vaez looks in his mirror.
He should have let them pass earlier on, because, I mean, that's not very nice from him, what he does just now.
Not at all. Vaez is being quite naughty out there, and he should allow Corinthians to come through, and he does. So Vaez comes to his senses somewhat.
What he might have done just now is held up a little bit Corinthians, just because he did held up Beijing a little bit too much, and he probably realized that, so he just wanted to make fair again.
Yep. Meanwhile, Alain continue. They've been running in 2nd place for a while now. It's good to see them up there.
And Alain is lapping in a 30.2, as AC Milan is lapping in a 29.6. That was on the last lap, which means AC Milan is coming back, but not drastically.
Up the hill and into Into 13 goes Alain. Great onboard shots there. Fighting the cars now as the tyres start to go off in the hot sunshine of Portugal. It's been a beautiful day here. Great track for racing. And Super League Formula has certainly made its presence felt here in Portugal well and truly. Sadly, FC Porto weren't able to do the business. Now, interesting enough, team manager car 22 has to go to race control. That, of course, AS Roma and Basel are off.
Yep, Basel was in 12th position, and they probably had an engine problem.
Yeah, looks like it. Certainly, It was a mechanical problem.
Yeah, it was indeed. As we just saw Tottenham, and Tottenham is actually currently running in 13th position.
Well, it's been a good outing for him. Well, a race that's had everything, that's for sure. And one thing is for sure, Dortmund, BVB, Borussia Dortmund of Germany, and Enrico Tocacello are well ahead. 8.2 seconds the gap between first and second place. And this is a walk in the park, or on the beach here in Estoril, for this man, Tocacello.
Yes.
Nothing behind him.
He has a 8 seconds lead. He's not extending his lead. He had a 10-second lead before the pit stop, now 8.5 seconds. So he's actually managing the race now and controlling it.
10 minutes to go, plus the 1 lap. The average of 50-minute race. And Dortmund, who started the weekend down in 13th position. And this will move them up the board somewhat.
That's good. Olympiacos coming back on Galatasaray. 29.9 for Galatasaray, 29.2 for Olympiacos.
The Greeks and the Turks going at it.
That's going to be a great battle because Olympiacos is quicker, but Galatasaray is in front.
So then, well, a race that had everything right from the start, right from the roll-up, in fact, with Beijing starting from the pit lane, don't forget. So really impressive to see Guan in 6th position, given that they started from the pit lane. More yellow flags as they try to get rid of Wiesel's car. We'll see Basel being dragged away, quite literally. And this battle between Galatasaray and Olympiacos continues. Points forecast here, 268 to go on, 233 to Liverpool. So Liverpool will stay just 12 points behind. Eindhoven will stay in 3rd place, but they will be 20 points adrift. And AC Milan are the big movers. 211. They move up to 4th place if it stays this way, having started the day in 10th. So excellent stuff by Robert Dornbos. They should be buying the drinks. Well, not everybody should be buying drinks for them, I think. Good job by them and their team.
And we see Tocacello, and we could see at the back of the screen Alain coming back a little bit. Tocacello didn't do a good last lap. He lapped in 1:31.1, which was 1 second slower than Alain. That's interesting. Maybe the tire is going off a little bit. And okay, Olympiacos aren't there anymore.
Galatasaray at 1:30.3.
And there is no more Olympiacos car behind Galatasaray, and I can't see them on the classification screen either.
The battle that was going on has gone. We're looking at Galatasaray, and their opponents have disappeared. So we'll find out what's happened there.
So now he's all safe. What a shame. We had a great battle going on, the two cars.
Yeah, Olympiacos just suddenly disappeared, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, there they are in the pits. It's all over for Casper Anderson. It's the end of the day. So, on to Vellelunga next for him and the rest of the teams. That's where the penultimate round will be. And then the final hurrah will be at Jerez.
Well, it's a frustrating weekend for Olympiacos because they were very competitive from the start of the weekend, very fast in the practice, went into the semi-finals. Real shame. Didn't have neither a first good race nor a second good race. It's not good for them.
So after 24 laps, Dortmund have effectively redeemed themselves They were the ones that caused the accident in the first race, which put them out, and they scored next to nothing. But now they're going to score 50 points for winning the reverse grid race 2, and that's the beauty of Super League. You get another bite at it if you get it wrong in the first race. And Dortmund will march forward. LAN have had a good weekend. They finished second in this one by the looks of things, if it all holds out together. And Zaxby watching on.
Very good race from the Corinthians as well, because they overtook Sevilla.
Much better by the Brazilians, yep.
Yeah, with Beijing, and they overtook Beijing as well. So the Corinthians are now running in 5th position. He finished 4th in the first race this morning. So overall, it's a very good performance from Pizzonia.
Well, Antonio Pizzonia has definitely breathed new lifeblood into the Corinthians' efforts, and it's great that he's a Brazilian driver. I think the fans in Brazil will really get behind this effort now. On board with Dortmund and Enrico Toccacello. He's won in A1. In fact, the last time he drove this circuit was in A1 for Italy, so he knows it well. Finished 7th that time out in 2005.
And Enrico, the previous lap was 1 second slower than Alain in Milan, but this last lap was actually nearly 2 seconds slower than Milan and Alain, and his lead has melted to only 5 seconds as he was leading by 10 seconds, and there are again 5 minutes to go plus 1 lap.
There is Corinthians. Ooh. Blast of smoke out the back there. That doesn't look healthy. Let's have a look at him again as he passes our commentary position. He looks okay. He's got Beijing behind him. LAN, last lap by Dortmund, a 1:31.8, the gap between themselves. And LAN 1.9 as we come down to the last 5 minutes.
Alain is only 3.8 seconds behind Dortmund. Dortmund had a 10 seconds lead, and now it's completely melted to 4 seconds. What's going on with Dortmund? We have Dortmund now on the screen, and you can see Alain and AC Milan coming back.
Could Toccacello have some sort of shifting problem? Could he be missing a gear?
Well, difficult to say. Maybe he lost. It's hard to say.
To be fair, his last lap was a 1:31.8. Wasn't that slow?
Well, Alain was a 1:29.9, so it's two seconds difference. Difficult to say.
So interesting times with less than 4.5 minutes to go. On board with second place Alain. You can see the man in front of him, just in the distance, going through 15, and they'll both head out of 16 and onto the main straight fairly soon. You're right, LAN has caught up leaps and bounds. As we come out of the last corner again, Dortmund are in trouble. They are slowing dramatically by the looks of things. Here we come. Dortmund do a 1:32.8, and here come LAN.
1:32.8, it's a disaster. That's 2.5 seconds slower.
Well, Dortmund looked as though they got this in the bag, and they've taken 2.5 seconds out of them dramatically. Corinthians going through, Beijing going through. Well, we are going to have a fascinating finish to this with 3 minutes and 1 lap to go.
Only 1.2 seconds gap between the leader, the second car, and another just 1 second for AC Milan behind Alain.
Well, what a season it's been for LAN. Started well at Donington Park, and then a DNF in the second race there. And now suddenly, having started the day in 14th position, they could win this race.
Yeah, that's amazing. For that, it's a very good championship indeed.
So, we are looking at the battle further down.
Craig Dolby, what a shame he had to start in last position.
He's made it through, but not quite as far as he did in the Nürburgring.
No, I think he had he was struggling with some problems with the car, and it's a shame because he did a fantastic start. There he goes.
So, what we're worried about, though, is Dortmund going to be overtaken? That's the question. And they have been overtaken. Well, we thought it was going to happen. And Dortmund are dropping down the board. Their last lap, a 1:32.1, and everybody else is quicker. So LAN lead the race. AC Milan smell blood, and they're on the warpath too. Here's what happened.
it's difficult to know what's actually happening with Dortmund, because it's in the last corner that there is obviously a big problem.
I think it's the top gear. I think it's either 5th gear or 6th gear that he can't use.
Yeah.
And he's
Looks
stuck
like
in 4th maybe.
Yeah.
And he therefore can't get the overall top power down the straight. They were having a sticking problem in qualifying. Several drivers complaining of gear shifting problems.
And
so it's just motor racing, it can happen.
Yeah, and now he's holding up AC Milan and ruining the chances of AC Milan for a win. But he has to fight. He has to fight to stay on the podium, even if he has a problem.
On board with the leader then. Coming to the end of another lap. 1:18 to go after this. So still time for more drama yet. Paul Mayer leading for LAN. Season started with Andreas Zuber driving the car.
You're right, he hasn't got 6th or 5th.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Through goes AC Milan. They go into 2nd place. Dortmund dropping down the board. And with 56 seconds to go, Dortmund desperate to hang on to a podium. And Tocacello tucks in and tries to get some toe and tries to hold off the team that are next to follow. That is Galatasaray. In fact, poor old Tocacello, he's okay in the lower gears. You can see he's actually faster than AC Milan.
Yes, he's going to try to make a move again.
He's going to try and get past him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Amazing. No, you know what the problem here? Well, I'm not so sure, but it looks like he has a lot of graining on the front left tire, and that he can't take the last corner, and that can happen.
He knows
here.
he's going to go off unless he slows down.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. That's what
Good
for
call.
me. That's what's happening. It's common in this on this track because this last corner is hard on the driver, but it's hard on the tires as well.
So the man from the Hiltersham in the Netherlands, and Dortmund again in trouble. Galatasaray go past. Corinthians are next.
It's another problem. It's an
more
engine
than that,
problem.
isn't it?
Yeah. What a shame.
So poor old Dortmund, well, they will finish with points if they keep going, but they're not going to get as many as they thought they would. AC Milan, though, are going to finish 2nd to LAN.
Corinthians is overtaking.
And the Sheikh Khalifa Stadium will be enjoying this one, that's for sure.
That's over for Dortmund.
It's game over for Dortmund. Back to the changing rooms. And meanwhile, LAN continue on. Real superstars in the United Arab Emirates, and now big time here in Portugal. LAN on their way to victory, their first victory. Best finish 6 so far. And Paul Mayer of Hiltersham in the Netherlands is going to do the business. What a race this has been. Milan will take 2nd place, and it's Milan that will gain the most out of the weekend. 2 great results. Remember, Dornbos coming from right from the back to take 2nd place. He's done a Craig Dolby himself as Dornbos, and he will be delighted with that. This is the last lap. LAN on their way. The LAN SF racing team on their way to victory here in Estoril. The purple and white car, sponsored by Al Qudra. And Corinthians will make one more effort to try and get past Galatasaray.
For the podium.
3 more corners to go.
Can they make it?
AC Milan not that far behind. Into 15 and out of 15 he goes. 1 more corner to go for Paul Mayer, the man who took pole a while back, started the day with a rotten qualifying session and now sees the checkered flag to take victory. And he better be careful weaving over the track, otherwise AC Milan might take it away from him. Milan takes 2nd place, and Galatasaray hang on in there to beat Corinthians to the line. And it's delight, a first win for LAN.
Good job from Paul Mayer, who was very discreet during all the beginning of the race, didn't stayed out of trouble. So very good job. Good job for Scuderia Play Team as well.
Well,
who finishes with 2 cars on the podium. AC Milan 2nd again, because he was 2nd in the first race. Very strong race from Robert Dornbos, and very good job for
to be honest, the winner of the weekend is Dornbos. Should have been Valles, but it wasn't. Dornbos to me anyway.
Yep.
2 2nd places doesn't get much better. Well, LAN have 9 league titles back in the Far East, but now they've got their first title in motor racing, and they can start to celebrate. It was the moment he crossed the line. He wasn't really worried about AC Milan. He might when he looks at the pictures back. He was weaving all over the circuit, but enjoying himself. And the Dutchman, who's pretty good with the football too, as we found out. He's king of the track, on track. He's also the fastest man in
Maybe I
the
should
keepy-uppy battle.
should try start practicing my football. Maybe.
I think you should. It might help. So well done. Good weekend though, Estoril. 2 more rounds to go. 4 more races.
The fastest lap of the race, should we say, was for Dortmund, who was actually pulling away and leading by 10 seconds. Real shame for Tocacello, who really wanted to do well this weekend for his new team. Enjoying his in-lap as a race winner. Paul Meyer, who was on pole position in Zolder for his first time in the car, so pretty good job. He didn't have such a good performance, pure performance this weekend, but there you go, he wins race 2.
Well, there you go, confirmation. Alain on top for the first time, beating AC Milan, who took their second place of the day. Galatasaray in 3rd. Corinthians, great weekend for Antonio Pizzonia. Another 4th place. Beijing, the leaders, finished 5th. Not a bad result, seeing where they started that race. Dortmund, sadly, finishing 6th, having should have really won this race. Sevilla in 7th, Eindhoven 8th, Anderlecht 9th, and Flamenco in 10th position. Tottenham Hotspur, having led the race, down in 11th, and a rotten day also in the end for Liverpool, 12th, having won the first race. Olympiacos, Basel, Rangers, and Roma. Wow, that had everything, didn't it? Beijing starting from the pit lane, Tottenham leading the way, and nobody would perhaps have anticipated that the checkered flag would have gone to the purple and white of the Dutchman, Paul Meyer, and the yellow lane team.
Yeah, very good job indeed from him. First win. Oh no, actually it's the second win, because PSV Eindhoven had one, and they're being both taken up by Azoty.
Well, there's the league as it stands. Go on, still on top, but it's getting closer. 271 to Eindhoven's 236. Liverpool, having been second, have now dropped to 3rd, 235. But look how close it is. 1 point between them. Milan are the big movers, up to 4th place, 216. Could they make a late charge for the title? Sevilla behind them. Alain moved to 11th place, 167 points, and they may well move up the board. And Corinthians also another big mover on the day. So congratulations to Alain, former Benelux champion in Formula Renault. Long chat with him at the beginning of the weekend, really enjoying the idea of Super League, and like a lot of drivers, missed out on a traditional ladder all the way to Formula One, but hasn't given up hopes on that. But having done so well in Formula Renault, drifted a little bit, and this is definitely put him back in the focus. But there's the man of the moment for me, number 3, Dawn Boss. What a performance.
Yes, indeed, very good race, very strong all the way. No mistakes, that's key. The races are very long, you can see them sweating, and they have
it's starting to show
physically.
you, isn't it? Just shows you the experience of someone like Dawn Boss.
Yeah, it does. That's where you have to stay on track, don't make any mistakes, try to be quick all the way, and that pays off.
So then, the crowd really enjoying this. Let's go down now and find out from the top 3 how their races were.
Alessandro, a good race from you, but a problem from Borussia made you could take advantage and get on the podium.
Yeah, it's a good race. After a difficult start of the weekend with 15th position, the start of race 1, then I changed the setup. The car's very good now, and the podium is perfect for us. Thank you very much.
So Per Guidi getting a little bit of help there as Dortmund went down to 6th place. And there you see Robert Dornbos. Robert Dornbos, we'll find out from him how his weekend was, but he'll probably have the biggest smile on his face of all of those out there.
Okay, Robert, a strong race again. You started near the back of the grid, but you're on the podium again.
Yeah, it's always nice to see you, but to see you 2 times in one day is a very good sign. So we're definitely 2 podiums with the reverse grid system is very special, I think. Yeah, I fought really hard. The first lap was just amazing. I was just on the outside, inside, passing people, and we had a good pace, and I really enjoyed it. And then the victory was getting close as well with the Alain car not being that quick. And a great day for AC Milan, great day for my team, and I think Super League showed that it's a very spectacular series. Thank you.
Ever the charmer, ever the supporter of the series. He knows exactly what he's supposed to say when he's on camera. And let's go down now to the winner.
Fantastic. Paul, fantastic drive from you in a new car.
Yeah, it's amazing. This weekend started off really hard for us. With a lot of problems with the car and the setup. The circuit was new for me, so it was all a big mess. And then session after session, we became quicker and quicker, and the car felt better. And yeah, the first race was quite good as well. I had a little bit too much oversteer, and in the second race we could keep the pace. I overtook quite a lot of people, and then I was leading the race, and it's just incredible. For Alain, it's great. They're on top now, and we keep them on top, I hope. And the speed, the team Arzetti did a good job, and I'm so happy. Thank you.
The smile says it all. He's got Alain on top, and that's exactly where he wants to keep them. Interesting race. At the beginning, FC Basel leading them round. Tottenham Hotspur in second place, having moved up from third. Dortmund were in third. And just behind them, Atletico. Liverpool going wide, losing out early on to AS Roma. And then Tottenham going around the outside into turn 1, taking Max Wiesel by surprise somewhat, but somehow the young German held on. And then the fellow German car anyway, Dortmund came by, past the young German, representing the Swiss team. And then Dortmund easily taking the lead off Dominic Jackson. And Toccacello looked as though at this point he was surely headed towards victory. Meanwhile, Liverpool were in the wars, not what the doctor recommended. A professional foul made a racing wise. And Baez also getting in trouble. Wiesel out braking himself, and then the car broke down, and out he went. Meanwhile, Dortmund then in trouble in the closing stages. Out of the last corner, there was nothing they could do. We thought it was graining. We think it's mechanical, but you can see no speed at all. And Alain made breakfast of them. And Paul Meyer goes past. So too Robert Dornbos, happy to be on the podium twice in a row in one day at Estoril. The sun was shining on him, wasn't it? And Alain weave their way to their first victory in the hands of the Dutchman.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So excellent stuff by Paul Meyer. And in a moment, the podium, the cars now will be wrapped up and sent to Italy to face the Italian fans, and that should be fun. I think we'll get a good crowd there, just outside Rome, Vallelunga. And AS Roma, after an up-and-down weekend, have shown real potential, and the combination of Frank Pereira and AS Roma means I think they're going to be favourites for sure once they get it all together. But as their engineer said to us, they've given away too many Christmas presents, and it isn't even Christmas. Big raw Robert Dornbos gives the old Schumacher salute. And the crowd enjoying that. I do enjoy it when racing drivers get up and enjoy themselves. You know, we all want to be a racing driver, Bruce. So we love it when you get on the podium and at least enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the least you can do.
Let's pause then.
Uma salva de palmas para o vencedor.
So congratulations to Paul Meyer. And celebrations all round. Victor Bayer giving out the prizes. The ex-goalkeeper, let's hope he doesn't drop it. But sadly, FC Porto not having the big day. But Alessandro Perguidi delighted to be up there. And Galatasaray doing the business. And a little bit of luck, but you take it where you can in motor racing, that's for sure. And Robert Dornbos gets his prize. And big celebrations for the AC Milan fans. And the biggest prize of all, first place trophy for LAN with their first victory in Super League Formula. Football and motor racing combined, the world's biggest football teams. Depending on where you're from in the world, you may not be a Corinthians fan, you may be an LAN fan, and you may not have heard of them before now, depending on where in the world you're from, but you will now. And certainly in the Middle East, they'll be celebrating their first victory. And now the champagne. Well, they make some pretty good vino here in Portugal, and of course, port wine is famous here. And they may be a little drunk by the team this afternoon and this evening. There you go. It's celebration time. And the AC Milan boys have enjoyed their weekend for sure. And it's football time. Let's see if he's got the skills. Well, we saw in the keepy uppy he's got the skills. Well, he's doing it in style now, isn't he? Look at this. Whoa! And he's left-footed. Look at that, right across the track. Good effort. Well, the old 1-2 in action. And don't forget, the next one is at Vallelunga in Italy. That one, November 1st and 2nd. So watch out for that. That's the penultimate round of the 2008 season. Hope you've enjoyed it. My thanks to Bruce Giovanni. I'm Jonathan Green. Join us next time out when all of these stars will be back to perform again. But congratulations to Alain and Paul Meyer. They're the winners of race 2. But Robert Dornbos with 2 second place has moved AC Milan closer to the title chase. We'll see you next time.